Welcome to Above the Cushion, the ultimate destination for racing enthusiasts and fans of Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway. With the Automedic supporting and the Uhlik Music Studio setting the stage, you've got the perfect mix of high-speed action and entertainment.
Well, welcome to 2025. It is Above the Cushion night. We're going to get started a little bit early tonight as our guest has some obligations with the weather that's happening outside. So I told him we'd get this kicked off so he can get home at some sort of a decent hour tomorrow morning. Be out all night, but we got to, first and foremost, want to thank everyone for sticking with us and appreciate everyone. Being cool with taking the end of the year off, but we're back 2025. We're going to kick this one off good with Clint Carter right here in the Uhlik Music Studio. Want to need to thank our great partners over at the Automedic, 3350 South Hydraulic Avenue right here in Wichita, Kansas. Oil change, tires, brakes, all your general maintenance going to happen over at the Automedic. need some heavy line work, get an engine transmission replaced in a new car, or the car you got now needs a freshen up, they can take care of that over there. Also, BG Product Center, if you need to get any of the great products from the BG company, you can go over there to the Automatic and they can get you hooked up. Of course, Uhlik Music is a proud sponsor here on Above the Cushion. All the great boards, mics, everything that we need to get the show kicked off. And if you need a new guitar, keyboard, podcast equipment, if maybe you got a new man cave you're working on, or woman cave, woman shed, I don't know how that all works, but need some audio equipment, get over there and they can get you hooked up. And as always, let them know that Above the Cushion 81 Speedway, Humboldt Speedway sent you. Again, thank you for letting us take the end of the year off. We appreciate you very much when we're back for 2025. As we kind of talked about before we went on break, we are going to shows aren't going to be every single Thursday until race season. Once we get racing, then we'll go back to every Thursday. But if we're going to have a guest call in or be in studio with us like Clint is tonight, then we'll have a post made. We'll get it out there, and then we'll start trying to get everyone some content as the winter rolls on. A few news and notes. Enduro registration is going to open 8 a.m. Monday morning, the 13th. So we'll get some of that stuff out here pretty quick. GM John Allen texted me that a little bit ago. Time is running out to get your tickets for the banquet. Humboldt Speedway, 81 Speedway, and Little 81 Speedway Kart Park. All three of them going to happen. So you go over to My Race Pass, or you can find it through the website, www.humboldtspeedway.com or www.81speedway.com. You can get your tickets right through there. If you need some help, we can help you, but no cash sales on the tickets. So you got to go through the app and get your tickets to the banquet. Tickets will not be sold at the door, so you got to get them ahead of time so we can get a good count on the food. That is going to do it. A registration. You got your racers registered.
Yeah. so I think we have
a little bit closer. There you go.
So I think we have Aaron's registered naturally, and then Josh is probably registered as a mini stock. But
okay,
as we all know, the Wallbanger is going to be racing a B mod this year. Well, I hope it makes it till race season starts. Sorry, Josh. But anyway, he is not registered in B mod yet, but we will get it figured out.
Well, right now I believe it's free. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I believe till a certain time it is free to get registered, and then there is going to be a little bit of a fee. So sign them up for everything. Sprint car, late model, it doesn't even matter.
If there's a demolition derby class out here,
I think there is
signed up for
every once in a while. But the registration's still open to get at both speedways. I've seen quite a few people get registered, as well as Battle at the Bull Ring. Registration is open for that as well. So a lot of registrations going on as we get closer to 2025 race season. Doesn't feel like race season outside, as it's a winter wonderland here at the Speedway. I don't have any pictures from over at Humboldt, but I'm going to assume it's about the same thing going on over there. Maybe we can wrangle up GM John Allen to get us a few pictures of the baddest quarter mile in the country over there, and we can get those posted. But man, wanted to, first off say thank you, taking the phone call and agreeing to come on. We had this kind of set for before the end of the year, but I don't know, you went and got sick and kind of struggled through that, but it looks like you're doing a lot better.
I'm a lot better. I went to the Dome to watch Tyler and in St. Louis, and apparently I got the Dome flu like everybody else. So if I ever go there again, you'll see me. I'll be wearing the respirator with all the cartridges on. I probably will never go again. That was horrible sick. I got pneumonia and a double respiratory infection. So that sucked. The races were awesome, super cool, great experience, but I don't know if I'll go back.
Same thing happens at the Chili Bowl. You get the Chili Bowl flu too. Not as little more ventilation in that old decrepit building down there in Tulsa, but
well, and I'm not a big sprint car guy. I like sprint cars and mini sprints and all that, but I'm more of a door car guy. So I probably never go to the Chili Bowl. Yeah. Plus, I drink too much to go to the Chili Bowl.
Oh no, it's a great time. I've been a few times, and it's a good one to be had. Not been able to coordinate my schedule to get off to go to the Dome, but I'd like to get that handled at some point in my life.
It was neat. The town was fun. We went to a casino one night, had some fun. we stayed in a area where there were some bars and cafes and stuff. So it was pretty fun. It didn't look real safe, but we didn't have any issues. So.
Yeah, it's down there. It's a little sketchy looking from the aerial view and some of the videos that are happening, but no one's ever had a problem with getting anything broken into or no issues like that. So I think it just kind of looks sketchy, but it's not a bad neighborhood.
I think it'd be a lot of fun to get there a day or two early and actually experience St. Louis a little bit more than because we just did the racing naturally. Get to the racing, and then like I said, one night at the casino, and then it's time to get back in the vehicle and drive again. So.
Oh, you've never done the tourist, the arch, you never.
I guess we did do the arch. It was so non-rememberable. I forgot. I don't know if it was worth I don't even know what we paid. My wife pays for everything and does all that stuff. So hi, Holly. I know you're watching. I love you. You're great. I'm bad. You're pretty. I'm ugly. All that's out of the way.
Got to knock them things off right off the bat. We don't want to forget.
She's the boss. I'm not the boss. So yeah, we're good.
That's fair.
But ultimately, we did that, and it was fun. My son was with us, and his girlfriend, Kaylee, was with us. Josh didn't wreck anything going over or coming back, so we were good. Didn't cost me any front clips or rear clips. Thanks, Josh.
It's all fun and games.
Dude, it's been fun. If anybody doesn't know the story, we get our B-Mod out, which was Tyler's old national championship car.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a very good car, and we jumped in the B-Mod. We had a motor. We got a good deal. Tyler took care of us. He got it all set up. We bring it out to the track. Aaron jumps in it and is ripping and gripping it. Never been in a mod before. He's just kicking butt in it. Josh gets in it and is really doing a good job as well. He's being safe. He's not being overconfident. He's not being arrogant or trying to, he's doing a good job. And so we told him so much to do and to be careful. Brett Davis was there. There's a lot of other people there that were helping him, giving him advice. I don't know if Brett's the best to give advice to. He can take out a bumper or two in his time, but you can ask Kelly Shipman if you want to know. But
he's got a pile of bumpers over there still.
Oh my goodness, dude, the recycle place is loving Brett Davis. But anyway, so all jokes aside, so Josh drives the car and does it good, and I'd never even driven a direct drive car before, so he does pretty dang good job. And he gets out here and he's Tyler Davis gets here, who did everything with this car. We owe him everything we have. We owe Tyler. He's a great guy. And so we get out here. He's driving it. And he comes around 1, and he's got her sideways, looking pretty good. Comes out of 2, pretty good, and he just dumps the freaking accelerator. Pushes down back left, takes sharp right, hits right into the wall at the worst possible 45-degree angle possible. Takes out the front, the back clip. $8,000 in repairs, and he felt horrible. And I probably said things I shouldn't have said that day. But then we started joking about it because once we realized the damage was done, it's racing, stuff happens. Yeah. Nobody was mad. We're glad he wasn't hurt. I mean, we always are glad when Aaron or Josh isn't hurt and we don't hurt anybody else, and nobody else gets hurt, and we'll help anybody we can if we have something that's yours. So we get the car, John Allen was here, and he was talking about how the first time, he went out and he hit like a parked car or hit a tire and he destroyed a car. And then he went out and won like 300 freaking features after that. So he's like, you know what? You start here, you only have one way to go, and that's up.
That's right.
John had good advice for Josh, and he didn't want to hear any of that shit that day. He was upset.
He was mad.
He was upset and disappointed and all the above. Well, we get the car back together and everything's great. We got the wrap fixed and the car's back at home, but we literally had that car we literally got it from Glassman. We back it out right here in the midfield. We run it, and Tyler just got here, and that car is already in pieces. And it was a bad deal, but I think he's learned from it. We should have, of all the stuff we told him, and we probably didn't need to tell him. We didn't tell him the one thing is that you don't lift coming out dynamic naturally. And he'll never do that again. I promise you. It's a learning.
I was here that night. You guys rented the track, and we did a show, and I went down there, and I was like, what happened? And Brett goes, we forgot to tell him to not just dump the throttle. He has to let out of it. And I said, oh.
Well, you expect him to hit it coming out of a turn or spin it out going in the middle of a turn, going in too hard or braking not enough or trying to I mean, we expected so many things to happen. I honestly expected for him to hit the wall. I really did. But not like that. It was the slowest crucial wreck I've ever seen in my life. The back end hopped up, spun around, hit the wall. I mean, I've never seen a wreck so slow do so much damage, but again, he was safe, and that's the main thing. We love him. We don't want him hurt.
That's the thing I always say. We can go down the street and get us another race car. We can't always get us another race car driver.
Well, 100%. And the other thing too is he learned, and two, our car's better today because of it. It was an MK1, Tyler, Bill's built MK1, and now it's pretty much a Blackout Motorsport, because the only thing on that car that's, not a Blackout Motorsport is the actual where he sits, the cage, like right in the middle. Other than that, everything's brand new. So we got all the upgrades. I mean,
ready to go.
Yeah, we thought we had a good $19,000, $20,000 deal, and it turned into a $29,000 deal.
That's okay.
Yeah, and we did get a really cool, a new powder coat, which looks pretty sharp.
Oh, nice.
And we did paint it, a chromish aluminum color. So as he keeps wrecking it, we can, patch in
do a little touch
where we fix it.
Well, we kind of been talking. You got 2 race teams happening, but dirt track is not where you started your love of motorsports.
No,
much different form of racing it before you wound up over here with the crazies.
Yeah. So I was a Jeep guy. My first vehicle was a Jeep, and it was jacked up V8 and way too much power for what I needed. And I made a lot of mistakes in that. And then we did some, I've had 4 or 5 Jeeps, and they've all had big V8s in them and Positracks and lockers and real fun stuff. And then my cousin, Jason Daniels, which is Braylon Daniels and Midwest Rap's father, always had 69 Camaros, and he was a really good street racer. Not really a fast car in today's terms, but back then it was fast.
Yeah.
High 13 second car was pretty dang fast.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, now my wife's BMW would smoke that. It's just a street car. But anyway, so he had that 69 Camaro. It was a show car. Then he turned it into a drag car. He built a motor, put in it. And then that 13.6 car ran like a 12.10. Then he bought a 67 Camaro from James Kunkel and Gary Kunkel's, which are big racetrack guys around Arc City and Wichita. Put that same motor in a race car. Now he's running high 11s. Did a great job. Won a lot of races. I think he might even been first in points a year or 2 in that car. And then he took that motor out, put it in a 1993 Super Comp Dragster, red, beautiful car. Same motor, went out, ran low 9s, alcohol injected the carburetor, ran mid 8s, high 8s. But that car was real fun because it was accurate, and we were running times.
Right.
ETs, timed racing, handicap starts. So with that being said, we raced everywhere all the time. And I think his best night, he took first one night, I think he ran like a 936 with an 007 light, 936 with an 00 light, 936 with an 002 light. Takes the money.
Wow.
Car's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a dang good driver too. Try not to cuss too much. I'm trying to be professional for once.
Family show, but
I'm trying.
But we do let JR on here, so he let every once in a while.
I noticed that because this feels like a little kid-sized headset. It barely fits me, so this is probably JR's right here. But anyway, hi JR, love you. Anyway, so he raced for years, and then he got out of racing, and then I always like clean cars. I like clean rims, shiny Armor All tires, just really clean cars. And I always thought dirt track were for guys that don't have any respect for their stuff. Their stuff's dirty and this and that. And then I don't know how long ago I met my wife. It was a long time ago. 12, 13 years ago, I met my wife. And believe it or not, her mom's ex-husband is Van Gibble. So she was, not around when they were together, but later. And then her mom's a big dirt track racer. So Holly likes dirt track racing. And we came out here in 2021, watched a few races, and she's like, this is fun. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I like the Frito chili pie. You should bring that back, Katie. The Frito chili pie.
Frito chili pie.
Yeah, you get them a Humboldt. We can't get them in Wichita. But anyway, so I do really like those, and so does Holly.
They're great.
They are really good. But so we come out, watch racing. We're having fun, and we're starting to learn racers' names and the numbers, and we're starting to come more often. And I used to hate the mini stocks because they were so slow looking. And I thought, well, mini stocks today, I think, are different than mini stocks 4 years ago. I think mini stocks come a long ways.
100%. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because we have a mini stock. That's not what I'm saying that. But I feel like it's competitive. There's more people. And you see the same names like what you do in the stock car. They're racy. They're kind of racy now.
Oh, yeah.
So I like them.
It's a very competitive class.
So we're watching racing. She likes Tyler Davis, the way he races. Never seen his ugly mug, but she likes him, likes his driving style. So we're coming to the races. Next thing you know, we're starting to talk to people. We're starting to know some people, not in the pits, just in the stands. And she's sure liking this little Hispanic gentleman named Aaron Esparza, how he's driving. And this dude can't speak a lick of Spanish. He's got the name, but he's an English man. He is straight English.
His dad, on the other hand,
I like RC, but I think he might know a couple Spanish words, but
he does.
you probably can't say them on the show.
Nuh-uh.
But so she's like, man, I sure like him. He's a good driver, and he's always going to the front. I said he's cheating. They're cheaters. And I'm joking. I never said that, but I'm like, he is a good driver, and she would laugh so hard at his interviews. She was like, oh my God, he's such a good driver, but he needs to work on his interviews.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, I've done a lot. I've been very thankful for the opportunity to interview a lot of people. Aaron went on a winning streak in 21, 22, pretty good. And yeah, it was a little bit of I'd have to give him a little coaching. Like, all right, breathe before we get started. And we're just, don't forget your sponsor.
I was just talking to Braylon at Midwest Wraps yesterday, and she was, I was talking to her. I said, hey, so right above the passenger side, the window, can we get a printout of all of our sponsors, like not very big, like, 4 or 5 inches tall by like 12 inches. We just print them there. So when Andy or whoever's interviewing them, whoever's down there, I said, I can turn his head and he can read them, because he says the same 3 every time. And he's looking at the car, and he's not looking at Andy. He's not looking at the crowd, and everybody loves Aaron. He's hard not to love. I mean, he's a good guy. He's a great guy, and he's a heck of a driver. But anyway, so Bray's laughing. I think it's funny. So then we talked about getting one of those like little football things on his wrist, so he can pull it up, so
flip
he can
it open and read it.
Yeah. So he's going to interview good this year, or I guess I'm going to take the mic from him at least once. We got to get somebody to keep sponsoring us, because with Josh wrecking him and Aaron not, talking about him, we're not going to keep him.
It's interesting. I'd like, I've been had the great pleasure of getting some first wins, interviewing some first wins, and I gotta every once in a while be like, hey, this is back here. This is
yeah. Well, I've caught you like grab Aaron's ear before and like pull him back away from the front of the car, because he's talking to all our fans, because you can't see the car when we win. There's 400 people down there.
Oh yeah, I always joke in the victory lane photos, if you wouldn't know if there's a car behind.
There is a car there.
Group of them.
I promise. I mean, yeah, and it's usually the dented up side. I mean, I wish we could pull around and come the other way, because that's his clean side. But yeah, so this year I expect a championship with Aaron. I mean, last year we came in short. We had 2 nights that we had some bad luck. We were running V belts on our motor, and I don't know if we lost adjustment or what, but we lost our V belt on one night. But we lost our power steering, but we still had coolant. So we had our water pump. We lost our power steering, so we couldn't turn. But it was later in the race, so we still finished in like 12th or 13th, which is not a bad place to finish. But when you're used to being in the top 5, you want to stay in the top 5. And when you're in a points contender race with that freaking Clint Smith, that he's hard to beat, and then you got Reimer, who's just coming up and doing a great job, and I mean, really good up and comer, 2nd year racing a stock car, and just does a great job. A great team. We love that team. Can't say nothing bad about those guys or Clint. I love Clint. I mean, and this is another thing I want to say about the people that come with us to the racetrack. There was 2 nights this year that Clint Smith had flat tires, and I'm running the jack one time, and one of my other buddies running lug nuts, helping his dad, help him get back on the track. If we beat Clint Smith, we're going to beat him fair and square. I'm not going to let him not get back on the track. And that goes for Reimer or anybody else, or somebody that's not even a point contender.
I wish that we could, and we'll get there eventually, but I wish we could get a camera from Racing Dirt to maybe we can just like steady mount it at Hot Pit, because I think people would be really surprised. I mean, there's a swarm of people on a car, because you don't just want to go out there and beat them. You want to, if they leave the racetrack, you didn't really beat them.
100%. And it's bad luck, because like just in our race, we lost by 7 points in stock car this year. And Josh, I make fun of Josh because of the B-Mob, but I'm going to say, I think we took 3rd in mini stocks with him, and we did not have a good car starting. Our car was not set up right. We had some engine issues. We couldn't turn it. We finally got good towards the end. He had some number 2 finishes. And now I want to talk some smack. 2 times he was like in the top 2 going to move for first. And something about him and Turn Tune Joey were being too good of buddies, because they must have been making eye contact. I said, hey, spin out, dummy. And he said, I will. I'll just spin out right now. But anyway, long story short, he did a really good job, and I want to condone him. I mean, he did a great job to finish 3rd and 2nd. And Aaron last year, the first year we raced, he finished 3rd, and this year he's 2nd. We lost by 7 points. We had more wins, not a big deal. We passed more cars. We just failed on that fan belt. We lost that race, and then we put a Serpentine Jones on, which why I didn't have that on before, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever cheap. I think we buy what we need. I don't have endless pockets, but we have money to do what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I should have had the Jones on before, and that would have prevented that problem. We lost that belt, and we finished like 18th or 19th, and we lost by 7. All we had to do was finish in 14th or 18th. We still would have won.
Coincidentally, you have cars in probably 2 of the most competitive classes here at the Speedway.
Sure.
There's a lot to be said for our USRA for the B mod, and
the B mods were great.
But, those are the regular mods and the B mods. That's a traveling, more of a kind of a traveling. We get quite a few, but as
100%.
far as our core local,
that stock car class is
stock
crazy.
car classes, absolutely, man. It's a hitters list. Like you said, they're the top 4 were all within 10 points of each other at the end of the year.
There was like, I could be wrong. I think there were like 8 different scenarios where somebody could have won first, second, or third. I mean, whether we win, Reimer had to be 6th or back. We only had to beat Clint to be ahead of Clint, but Clint had to beat us, and then Reimer had to be 7th behind him. I mean, it was crazy. And Clint could have won. Reimer could have, or we could have won, and Reimer could have been. I mean, it was nuts. And we were going into it, and I'm like, it's making my brain hurt. I mean, it was bad.
I had the opportunity to announce on championship night, and I knew what needed to happen for the other classes on that one. I kind of just tried to stall. I was peeking my head in the other side. There was JR's got a calculator out and trying to figure it out, and Katie's trying to figure it out. And I just said, just let me know when you figure it out. We're getting there. I said, I'm holding off. But
I knew unless somebody felt a tech that we got second. I knew immediately, and I didn't want Reimer to do bad. I just wanted to be 2 or 3 spots back. That's all. And I think he would have wanted the same for us. I mean, I don't wish anything bad on him. I'm not a wreck or anything stupid, but we wanted that win, and we're going after it next year. We're coming aggressive. We were going to travel and put Aaron in a B mod and do some other different stuff. So we kind of stuck back. I'm buying a building, which is just down the street a ways, for a race shop and our construction business stuff we have going. And we're close now, and we're going to stay local. We're going to get Josh training in that B mod, and then we're going to have Aaron winning. I'll take bets right now. We're winning that this year. I'm not going to accept not winning that. We're going to win that. It's very important to us to move Aaron to an A mod the following year. And we'll keep Josh in the B mod. Then we're going to stay local for a few years before we tote her out, and we start traveling with the B mod and the A mod, going and chasing USA points and go and have some real fun. You know, well, we have fun here. We love this place. And I'll tell people that they get mad at JR, or they're mad at Katie or Andy or Jeremy Heim, another great person. I have nothing but respect for all these people. The stuff these guys do here is very difficult, and they're human. They can make mistakes, and a mistake isn't a bad thing. It's how you handle a mistake is how you build your character. And no one has ever made a mistake here that's affected us that hasn't apologized later after watching tape. And go race somewhere else. If you don't like this track, or you want to gripe, I'm going to cuss. If you're going to bitch about this track, go somewhere else. You'll come back here a lot happier. Josh raced in Enid. First time he's raced anywhere other than 81 Speedway. And he goes, I'll never gripe about 81 Speedway ever again. I said, well, I didn't really know you were griping before. He goes, I wasn't. But I'm saying, if I ever gripe, you just tell me, think about Enid. And I'm like, I know.
We try to, JR and Katie definitely trying to do it a little bit different. Kind of before the transaction happened here at the Speedway, they traveled around, they saw other facilities, they saw how stuff was built out, they saw how people reacted, and they kind of knew how some stuff went just for them racing themselves, but just try to do it a little bit different. Here, we try to do it a little bit different at Humboldt too, and it's not always well received, but we're giving the best effort.
And I don't know the business side of Humboldt, but I would think that was so much more difficult being away from a bigger city than like Wichita. I mean, Wichita ain't a huge city, but it's the biggest one around here. I think Humboldt will be very difficult to pack stands and very difficult to be profitable at all. And I know a little bit about how much JR, benefits from owning this track. And I know he doesn't make near the money on this track that most people think he does. So he does love racing. And I ain't gonna make this all about JR, but ultimately, and Katie as well, but he loves racing, and he does this so people can do this. He doesn't do this because he has to. He don't need the money from here, or he doesn't need the losing on a big night. Like when sprint cars get canceled, World Outlaws, or late model World Outlaws get canceled. That ain't JR canceling that. That's other people. Right. And that's not JR canceling it late. That's other people. And JR has got so much money. I mean, he helps. I come and help, and And sometimes he pays me for stuff we do, and sometimes we trade stuff. But ultimately, at the end of the day, he loses money when we don't race on those things. And people don't know. They're just going to be mad at him and to get on Facebook and blast him and stuff. But I promise you, I'm a normal person, and you will never see me blast any track for anything that happens at that track, because it's not their fault. And if it does happen bad, it's not their intention.
We've talked about it before. Him and I were really hurt over the high limit deal. It was just him and I were so looking forward to that, and everyone was, not just myself and JR, but those big races, they're 100% out of our control. Those are managed. We're just kind of the facilitating place, and the decisions that happen are made by the World Racing Group or the High Limit Group, or anything like that. We're just kind of we're just tied. We're just hands are tied sometimes.
100%. And at the end of the day, I think people come here to have fun. Some people come here to get drunk. Some people come here to watch wrecks. I mean, whatever reason you're coming here, come here and stay in your lane. That's the role. That's what I say. Stay in your lane. Do what's right by you. Don't be punching people in the parking lot after somebody bumped you. And if you do punch somebody in the parking lot after the race, be ready to lose your points. And I hope you punch the right guy. Because sometimes you think somebody wrecked you, and it might be somebody totally else that wrecked you.
We've had that before too.
I've been here on that one. I was here on that one, and I've seen some really big boys run all the way across this track, and I'm out of shape. If I ran across that track, I'm probably gonna get my butt kicked because I'm gonna be out of wind.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do it. So,
you kind of brought up construction business and helping us here at the track. I want to talk about your company and kind of why you're here. Supporting a sponsor here and partner with us at FOE Enterprises with Premier Maintenance Services. You did say I don't really want to get too much into, because I'm pretty busy, so I can't take on too much stuff. But let's talk about our partnership together.
Okay, so I got to go back before that to explain why I have that. So I'm a heating and air guy. I work for a wholesale heating and air contracting or a vendor distributor, and I'm a Mitsubishi technician. Trainer, and I teach classes. Believe it or not, I teach classes.
I've heard.
Yeah,
Rick Beebe told us.
He actually said I did a good job. It's the first time he didn't fall asleep in a class. But and I will tell you, he had some questions, and I answered them, and they kept going on, and we got through them. I love Rick Beebe. But anyway, he's a good friend of mine. I consider him a great friend. But so my wife started a business. She teamed up with this guy, J.L. Russell Construction. And I'm not going to just name drop all my sponsors because Aaron can't do it, but I might say a few of them. So ultimately, my wife teamed up with this guy that built us a house. So she starts doing all this paperwork. And then next thing you know, they decide, well, we're building all these duplexes. Let's go ahead and let's start a property management company. So that's JL Property Management, which sponsors one of the classes.
JLR Property Management here at the Speedway.
Yep, that's us as well. So when I say us, that's my wife. I don't do really anything with that. I don't take credit for that. So long story short, so they started that. Well, in the meantime, things needed to be done. So I'm constantly helping her in the evenings and weekends. And I'm like, my God, I'm doing this workout to get paid. So we started Premier Maintenance Services, honestly, for just a tax deduction. So I could write off my damn truck. Dude. I mean, and then we got into, my wife started managing so many dang properties. And Premier Maintenance got busy enough where, RC worked with us for a while. Mm-hmm. This other guy named Caden worked with us for a while. And then now I've got Josh working full time with us. But so we started mowing all the yards. So now so Jason builds them. Holly does the billing. I help Jason superintend. I'm still doing my heating and air job. That's at least a 40-hour-a-week job. And then the Premier Maintenances, which we do. I mean, my son will go. Josh is getting real good. He's in there doing like garbage disposal change outs, can light changes out. Every once in a while, plunge the damn toilet, something that's not real technical, but needs done.
Right.
But he's leading the mowing crew with Jeff Thomas. And then Brett Davis works with us. He's never on time, but Brett gets there. He does work.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brett. You're just such an easy target.
Yeah. Well, you can take it to the bank in Vegas that he's not going to be on time.
Yeah, he's a good kid, and he does work hard. He's better. He's doing better. But so I got he's
2025 is a new year.
We got he needs to go to the gym, the little skinny bastard. But anyway, so ultimately at the end of the day, we got all these guys doing all this stuff and all these things moving directions, and now we got a snow moving business. That's why I can't be here too terribly long. So they'll be out pushing snow all night and doing sidewalks and businesses. And but ultimately it just kind of all fell in place because we built a house with a guy, and then my wife went to work for him, and then it just escalated into all this chaos. And then my son was living in Hawaii. Josh was in Hawaii after he got out of the Marines. So he comes back to Wichita and was like, I want a job. And we're like, well, what are you going to do? And then it just kind of escalated into this. And then Josh comes to the racetrack and watches Aaron, and he's like, I kind of want to race. And I'm like, well, I'll build you a slower car. But he's raced everything he's ever had. He's wrecked every Toyota Corolla. He's destroyed all the rear ends and all the Jeeps we've had. I mean, he's messed up all that stuff, but he can drive. Now that the car's good, I mean, if I put him in mini stock this year, as long as what's his name ain't racing, we'll be all right. I mean, I think it'd be can't think of his name right now. The young kid that
Titus Sportsfield.
Titus, yeah, Titus. As long as Titus ain't racing, I think we got a shot with Justin Esparza, and we'd have a really tight class.
Yeah.
And I heard Titus isn't racing, so that would be a really fun class. And I was trying to get my wife to race the mini stock, and
I hadn't heard Titus wasn't going to return.
Well, I don't know that. I heard that, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. We haven't got to the 81 Speedway champions on the show just yet.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get my ducks in a row to make it over to Humboldt to get
fun.
all the interviews done, which I intend to do that. And for those of you listening at the Humboldt, I'm going to be reaching out here pretty quick as Peyton Phillips is in Votto for the next week. So need to get him situated racing and then get back. And then I'm going to reach out to all the champions. So we're going to go over to Allen's Automotive. We're going to have a sit down on a Saturday, and we're going to do a round robin interview with the champions.
Sure. That'd be good. I don't know. I think the mini stock would be good. Josh would race it. So my wife doesn't want to race it. I've had like 19 guys call me to try to race it. And I don't know. I think we're going to set the mini stock down for a minute. The start of the season, we thought about making a 99 OG, the original gangster, and have me drive it. But I tried to get in, and I'm too fat to get out. I can get in, and I just can't get out of the damn car. It's too small. And I want to give props to that car too. The car wasn't bad for anybody's fault. It was bad because we didn't know what we were doing.
You'll start somewhere.
Yeah, we started from ground up. It was Kelly Ship. We bought the car, a donor car, basically from Kelly Shipman, and then I sent it straight to. Well, I didn't send it. I think Tyler and Shippy shipped it to John Allen, and John Allen built that car. That's a John Allen car, and that's the first mini stock he's ever built. So when we started with that car, they have a good motor. Dave Davis built the motor, and it was good. Had some problems with it. I flew to North Carolina, bought another motor, put in, and we started doing a little better. We got that motor apart. JR's got that motor apart. Had some issues with the crank and some stuff, but anyway, it wasn't blown up, but it wasn't a contender. It was a mid-pack running motor at that point. We did some adjustments. Sean Allen Jr. helped us. And Titus and them actually, and the Reimers actually helped us. But JR reached out to them to see if they would help us a little bit on our ride heists and stuff. And I think we got it closer, and then we actually bought scales. We went 2 years without owning our own scales. But again, so stupid. Like I can afford a pit lift. I mean, I can afford scales, and we just weren't doing that stuff. And we got good enough where we needed to go to the next level to get better. And my wife, she never says no for me buying something, but she sometimes says, "Do we need that?" And my answer is yes. Every time we need it. And maybe we don't need everything. Sorry, Holly. But anyway, at the end of the year, we were competing. The car was set up, and Aaron was on point. When we lost that belt, his motor got hot, and I'll tell you, we were on a mid-stage motor. There's no secrets in our car. It's legal. Both of our cars are legal. But at the end of the year, we got hot, and then we lost a little bit of power. We were getting a little hot. We had some headers glowing a little bit. We probably lost a little bit of horsepower. We were using a little bit of oil.
Yeah.
Motor's refurbed. We got a new cam, new valves put in it, and it's refurbed and it's ready to go. Waiting for my shocks to get back. We got Chesterman. I want to give him credit for helping us with the transmission, dude. I know Chesterman does a lot of things,
if
but
you
I
need
know
a Falcon rebuild, Eric Chesterman is the Midwest Falcon rebuild expert. That dude can. Dude, you wouldn't look at the guy and think that he could put a transmission together. Now do stuff like that, perfect guy,
dude.
But when you're like, okay, I'm going to line up 5 people, and Chesterman's in there, like, pick one that rebuilds a Falcon transmission. No one's going to point at Chesterman,
dude. He not only does he rebuild them by textbook, specs, he's modified it to make it stronger. Not do anything other than make it where it doesn't break. He's got some tricks. And And I guess because he failed on one before and he fixed it himself. And dude, he's our guy. So I mean, I want to give him credit for that. I mean, he's done a great job. And
in his younger, skinnier days,
he's definitely not fitting in the mini stock.
he was running the Falcon and did have some problems, and no one would help him. No one was really running a Falcon at the time.
Right.
He got the book, he learned it, and like I said, if I don't know if he's advertising to rebuild stuff or whatever, but if you're in desperate need to get a Falcon rebuilt, reach out to Eric Chesterman. He can definitely either help you or point you in the right direction.
Yeah, I need to go back. I did forget something I want to talk about too, that I forgot. So when we got started being fans and watching Aaron, that's when we decided we wanted to. Before that, we did. My cousin Jason Daniels and Bray, the good friend of Jason Daniels is Jason Yeager. So Jason Yeager was right. We come out and met Jason Yeager, and Jason Daniels and Yeager said, "Hey, we're going to build a car." Blah blah blah. So when Yeager came back from racing, and if anybody knows Jason Yeager, he's a really good motorcycle racer too.
Oh yeah,
great guy too. Very nice guy. Lives in El Dorado. Good guy. So we came out and we were watching him. So I started helping. That's when I got into the pits. And that's what escalated into being more involved with. I started liking racing here because I don't like sitting there watching racing. I like watching my cars race and the cars racing my cars, or our cars. They're not my cars. They're our cars. The whole team. It's our cars. So we enjoyed working with Yeager. I'm doing tires. I'm learning stuff. Maybe some wrong stuff, some right stuff. And then one day Tyler Davis is pitted like three down from us, and I think we talked to Tyler for something. I think Holly wanted to go buy a damn shirt. Now this is a funny story.
Fangirl Holly.
I know. Old Hollywood gets all the chicks, but anyway, he's younger, skinnier, whatever. Got a cooler hairdo. But so all jokes aside, we went to get a shirt. We met him, and then dude, he was just so open to being like friendly, and he's such a successful racer. I mean, he was just really, genuine. So we started talking. He did try to get her to wear a tank top though, instead of a t-shirt. Well, but he didn't have any.
Oh.
So we're talking about getting some tank tops for, some girls to wear around the pits maybe in the future.
Someone's got to do it.
Well, they can put 99 Racing. I might donate some of those.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyway, so that's what got us into the pits, to know Tyler, to get more involved, to actually watch racing at a different angle. Who's winning? What's this guy doing to be better than that guy? And what's allowed and not allowed as far as touching, because there's some rubbing out there. A little leaning, no spinning out and no driving through people. You see it, but it's not allowed. And that's what escalated us into watching Aaron. And I told Holly one night, I said, what do you think about getting a stock car? Because I thought, well, stock car would be cheap. Yeah, that was freaking wrong. I was like, well, it's not a mod, and it's going to be cheaper, and definitely not a sprint car. And she was like, yeah, we can get one if we get Aaron to drive it. I'm like, okay. So this was the first year he was racing a stock car for Levi. And I was like, well, he's got a ride. And she's like, well, whatever. And I wouldn't go try to steal a driver from anybody. And I did not, Levi. I did not steal Aaron. So they had a falling out, a disagreement, or they just decided to split sheets in the racing. And then one night I'm sitting at the stands, and like Aaron's like right next to us. And I knew him. We'd met, in passing, and I knew him. We were casual acquaintances. Well, we're drinking at the tavern after the race. I said, hey, you want to race for me? He said, yeah. I said, okay. And then we went out and bought a car in like 2 weeks. It's a Chevy chassis. Bought it out by Great Bend. A long story, but he's friends with them. That's who Levi uses in Foster. Robert Foster, another friend of ours, but races a Chevy chassis. And that's kind of how that escalated. We bought a car, a IMCA car, out of a guy racing in Nebraska and Iowa. And it was I can't remember if it was a 2-time champion, 1-time champion, second place car.
Aaron said that one when you guys first got it, but I don't remember.
And that was a messed up deal. I learned a lot, dude. We made some mistakes, man. We've made some serious mistakes.
You have to. I mean, no one's ever going to hit it off right the first time.
Well, the first thing we did wrong is we bought a car with a motor in it, and I will never buy a car with a motor in it again unless it's somebody I really know who's selling it. And I didn't know this guy from Peter or Paul, so we bought this car. I wanted to buy the car for $9,000. Without a motor, and he wanted $14,000 for it. So I paid $14,000 for our car, started up, drove it right on the trailer. We started up and we're going to check it out, and man, it was all jacked up. That motor was shit. So sorry, it was junk. That was a junk motor. So we go and build motor. So I basically went negative $5,000 right off the bat, get a $10,000 motor, go one way, worked fine for a while. We go win our first race. Very first race, Aaron just puts it to the front. Second race, we're like second or third, and it's just close. We come out here we take it to Salina because we think we can win everywhere. We went to Longdale and won in Longdale.
Yeah.
We're just, man, we're going to the front, and we were invincible. And we go to Salina, and that's the first and last time I ever been to Salina. We got destroyed there. We got smoked. The car got hit. We had to back half it. And the very next day is when we're racing the sprint car extravaganza, what it was a couple years ago.
Yep.
And we're winning the whole race. And Angel Nunes comes in, he fucking passes us in the last lap, in the last turn, and beats us, and we take second. But if anybody knew anything about that car, we worked on that car most all night long.
Yeah.
And that back end of that clip of that car was moved over about 5 inches. The back end of that car was twisted like a question mark.
To be up there with Angel Nunes, I mean, he's not a local racer. He comes for Stock Car Extravaganza, but he is a multi-time state champion.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how many hundreds of A feature wins he has. He is a very fierce stock car competitor, and he when he shows up for Stock Car Extravaganza, you watch him. It's a race.
Yeah, and we were winning the whole time, and he comes around. He said, "I was trying to go low." He goes, I can't pass that guy. That guy's hard to pass." In his interview, he remembers he said, "I just pulled a Hail Mary. I was going high. I was going to rub the wall all the way around." He goes, "I did it, and it worked." And Aaron didn't miss a mark. He didn't do anything wrong. He just Angel did something he shouldn't have done, and it worked. Yeah. I mean, I've seen Tyler do it 100 times. So I'm like, dude, you crazy bastard. What are you doing up there like that? But anyway, at the end of the day, that's kind of how, that went down. I just wanted to, talk about Jaeger a little bit and how that went down, because that was a big part of us wanting to be more than people in the stands. And I didn't like that. I still don't like that. I don't even like coming to special events. If we come to a special event race here, I'm usually helping in the parking lot, or I'll go work in the bar and I'll help serve beers. I mean, I'm just not a guy to sit there and watch racing all night.
I don't get many opportunities to go to a lot of races with the schedule we have for both tracks, but when I do, I'm headed towards the pits. I don't want to sit in the stands. I want to be in the pits. Yeah. I'm going to know somebody in the pits at a place I go. So, and of course, the pits here, Humboldt and 81, open to everyone. You can walk right down there to the pit pass shack, get you a pit pass. Great grandstands in turn 2. I always like to talk about the grandstands. And the other thing about turn 2 grandstands, you're right there at the hot pit.
100%. Yeah, there's action there. And people don't, people watch sprint cars, the 420s, the World Outlaw guys, and they'll watch NASCAR, and they're like, oh my God, when they go by, it's like zoom, 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 and it's so loud and so fast. And we come out to these dirt track cars, and they're going like 70. And I'm like, have you ever been 70 sideways next to 4 other cars? I don't even like riding with, like, TJ Tolan gave me a ride on a freaking Polaris around this track about 50, and he's 2 inches from the wall. And I'm like, get me out of this thing.
Well, in all fairness, TJ can't, not a very good driver.
Oh, that's not fair. TJ can drive.
No, TJ
can drive.
TJ's good. I always, I caught him the other day at Casey's getting some pizza, so I had to give him some crap. I hadn't seen him for a while.
I like TJ, but I'm telling you, he white knuckled me, and I'm just in a stupid Polaris on this track. And if you've never walked that track down there at 81 or Humboldt for that matter, if you've never walked that track, you get an opportunity to walk it. That thing is way more banked than the fans think. I've been out there when it's slick, when John's watering it, and before the track, and we were walking across it, and you can barely walk. You'll fall on your butt. It's very steep. There's a lot more to this than a normal fan watches and sees.
Oh yeah, that's why I encourage everyone at least once to get a pit pass to come down and get a ground level look at what's going on. Like you said, that there's more banking here at 81 than there is at Humboldt, but you'd be really surprised at actually how banked it is.
That's why I like the exit on 2, standing down. That's where I watch my racers drive. Just because I don't like to sit down in the bleachers. I got a cruddy back, and I hate the bleachers, and I don't like walking. And plus, if they got a hot pit, I'm not fast enough to get out of the stands to go help anybody. So I stand down at the bottom and get plastered with dirt, which is part of the event as well. But when they come out of 2 and they're romping, and them A-mods, and especially them sprint cars, but them A-mods come around that exit 2, I can tell you when Tyler Davis is driving, I can close my eyes. I can hear that car hammering down. It's wow, 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 wow. It is getting it.
I take some videos from the infield, post them every once in a while, but just being right down on the blocks out of turn 2 when they're right around the tires, and I'm not very far from them, and it's humming down there.
And I've been on the wall, by 5 feet back, like they request me to be. Now I'm probably right on the wall, but anyway, But I've been in there where there's a wreck in turn 4, and I'm touching that wall, and I'm telling you, it jars it. These guys, when those slow 70-mile-an-hour cars hit the wall, that is not slow, and that is not soft. They hit it hard.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, talking about the kid racing, I always like to talk to parents, you know, and how they feel. And I got to get Holly in here. We got to talk about she's a great partner here at the Speedway. So I want to get with her sometime and talk about her partnership. But you know, how is it with mom and dad standing there while Josh is racing? How is she having to hide, or is she watching full tilt?
She's a little bit of an enabler. You know, he can't do anything wrong. You know, she loves her baby boy. And you can ask our girls. We got 2 girls, Jalen and we got Madison, and they, Josh is her favorite. Oh, mom just loves Josh. And I can see it. Like, I walk in with muddy boots, I get yelled at. Josh walks in with shit and mud on his boots, and he don't get griped at. I mean, kid, but when it comes down to racing, I don't think she's worried about his safety. I mean, we're got the right gear, and he's not dumb. I know she don't want him to get hurt. You know, right. I don't want him to be hurt. I don't want him to get hurt. I'm never afraid for him. I'm honestly more afraid of, like, how much I got to fix next week if he messes this car up. Because this car's fast, man. And like you said earlier, the mini stocks and the stock car class were so close, but that B mod and A mod, that was crazy. You know, you get, you know, Dan Power's hand not hurt. Yeah. And then Phillips and Power, I mean, dude, they're getting it. That's going to be a run for the money. And B mod, I can't remember who won it. I wish I knew more about B mod. It's
more.
Yes. So I don't get to watch that very often because they're always next to stock car or they're always next to, so I never get to watch them. I'm either getting somebody in a car or getting somebody out of a car when B mods are running.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want to watch them. I just don't get to.
Right.
So I don't know a lot about them, but I'll tell you what, don't forget about them Kemps, man. They can run too. I'm telling you, the Kemps, it has an A mod and a B mod, right? And then their stock car, dude, boob car. I don't know what it's really called, but that's what I call it.
We call it the boob car.
Yeah, that's the boob car. And I'm telling you, if he's in front of you, he don't miss his marks.
Oh, no.
I mean, Aaron could be faster than him, and he's not going to pass that guy. That dude can run, man. And that's why I love that class. I mean, it's so good that sometimes it frustrates me because I'm like, dude, just let us get 2 more points up. I mean, we can win this. I mean,
I would say on an average, which the stock cars carry the highest car count average for 2024. I would say on any given night, just throw the dart at the calendar, any Saturday night, there's 15 of you. That's how close it is.
I agree with you.
And sometimes when I look at the lineups when you're going to pull out and there's a whole 9-car heavy hitter heat race, and it's like, oh, this is going to shake this deal up tonight.
Oh, you get Bo Davis running in there too. I mean, Bo's fast. There's certain guys I definitely would not choose to be in our heat race.
Right.
And there's definitely, I always gripe about us drawing cruddy numbers. Like, Aaron's the king of the 80s and the 90s. and Josh, if we had 105 numbers instead of 100, Josh would draw 104, maybe 105. He's a shitty drawer too. But you know,
we can't put it all on them because JR hits the button.
Dude, here's a funny story. So I got tons of funny stories, but this was a good one. So Josh destroys our car on like a Thursday night, right? And then on Saturday we're racing the mini stocks. So they're racing on Saturday, A mods, mini stocks, everybody's racing. So when we're in line to get up there to check in, JR never gets out from behind his computer, like hardly ever gets out and stands in front of the window. We're in line. He hears us talking as usual. He stands up and goes, "Hey, Josh, are you racing the B mod or the mini stock tonight?" Dude, Josh, I ain't going to say what Josh said to him. Again, that's too much for here, but it was so funny because it's like, it was already nobody was mad anymore. You know, it was more like, let's see how much fun we can make fun of him. And he's out mowing grass. I'm like, hey, don't wreck the mower into the curb, or don't wreck. And he's pulling the truck in the trailer. Don't pull the trailer into the wall. I mean, it went on for a long time. We've kind of gotten off of him for a while, but it'll come back when racing season starts.
JR doesn't let nothing go.
He named him as Josh the Wallbanger Caudell. So the Wallbanger is his official name.
Yeah. JR doesn't let nothing go.
He's a mule.
He's on it.
He won't forget a thing.
No. Yeah, absolutely not.
No, it's good, you know, and not to get all political or religious or anything, but I'll tell you what, there ain't many places you can go and say what you want to say and you know, pray before a race. A lot of people don't let you pray no more. You don't get to say the national anthem anymore at places. And And when you come down here, there's some good people. I mean, some of them have teeth, some don't have teeth, some got money, some don't have money. But I'll tell you what, these people get along here. It's fun.
The one thing we all have in common is we love a little dirt track action.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, it's funny. They're like, "Oh, you're a dirt tracker." I'm like, "Yes, I am." I was like, "Well, who cares, dude? We're like, dirt track's fun."
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not as just with technology and learning the dirt, it's not quite as dirty as it used to be. There's
Yeah.
John Allen has a thing about dust. He really does not like dusty track. So he's really I just got to give it to him because eat, sleeps, and breathes how to work a track and as every year it gets better.
When I was a kid, and that's a long time ago. I'm old. I'm 50. I'm old.
Just had a birthday.
I barely made it up that stairs. It was slick. I about fell. But
maintenance and housekeeping is a little down around here.
I didn't sign a waiver, so I'm going to sue JR if I fall and get hurt. So, but no, I'm joking. I'm going to sue Katie. JR, I need JR right now. He's my boy. But so
she's the feisty one.
Dude, she's going to tear me up about that Frito chili pie. Dude, because I told my wife, I said, should I say anything about that? Because I wanted to know what we were talking about a little bit when I got here. And she said, you say whatever you want to, just probably keep the Frito chili pie out of your mouth. And I went straight. That was the first thing I said.
Right on it.
I love them things. Yeah. No, but we love the track. We love the people at the track. We love the people that work the track, run the track. It's a great place to be. We haven't been to the lake in 4 years because of the track. I haven't watched a drag race in person in years, and that's fine. But it's a lifestyle. I mean, now that we're buying a building down the street, so it's going to be even crazier. I'm going to pull some shenanigans and try to drive our cars from a race shop all the way here one night and see if Park City cops don't catch me. Hopefully they get away if they do see them. I'm joking. We will pull over. They better pull over because I'm going to get in trouble for this somehow.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we're excited. We wanted to travel. We're not going to travel. We want to stay here and make a presence, get a picture on that wall in the tavern. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, there's things I wanted to do that we're accomplishing slowly. I wanted pictures of me and my wife and Aaron in front of the car, and I want it in the sun so it fades. I want to look at that in 30 years and go, this is where this all started. Yeah. I mean, almost gives me the chills. I mean, there's a lot of money in this stuff. We could be doing a lot of different things with the money we spend on this, and we have no problem, sponsoring divisions, even little 81. Kudos to little 81. That's a cool place, and that's a great accomplishment. We needed that where it's at, and I don't have a problem sponsoring that either. I mean, that's awesome. I got pit passes. Didn't know. I think I paid twice. So Emily, you owe me like $45. I'm joking, but anyway, I mean, it's fun, and I don't see us doing anything different. I mean, I hope in 2-3 years we're not racing here as often, that chasing some big money races, because it would be nice to make some money at this.
Yeah.
We do pretty good. We get about $16,000 $17,000 in sponsorship. And as long as we're not blowing motors up or back halving or front halving cars, Josh Caudell, that money goes a long ways.
Well, the old famous line, how to become a millionaire in the racing industry is start out as a billionaire.
I've never heard that. That's actually awesome.
Yeah. Kind of go back to mom and Josh. They, I'm not the best pronunciator about stuff. And I've been trying to work on it since JR, John have asked me to, announce at both tracks. So I'm trying to be better, but I would get some nice hateful messages on how to pronounce Josh's last name every once in a while.
Well, it was funny. It was funny because you hardly ever mess up like that. I mean, I've heard Chesty call it, the wrong name, and then he corrects it or doesn't, and then he corrects it. I've heard him back and forth, and then I've actually heard him laughing at himself when he messes up. I mean, it's fun.
Right.
You don't mess up a lot with people's names, but there was a guy that was announcing earlier in the year that was if you could say a name wrong, he was doing it for a while. I can't remember his name, and no disrespect. It's just the facts. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking trash by any means. I would do way worse if I was doing it.
Right.
But you don't mess up much. But it was so funny that night because his last name's Caudell. And I can't remember how you were saying it. Cattle or no? Caudle. Yeah. So my wife texts Andy and says it's Caudell, and she was like KAW space DELL, and she made it all bold. So but she wasn't doing it to be mean. She was bolding it so it'd be like Cadell. And Andy was, and the very next time he announced his name, he's like Joshua Cadell, and it was so funny. And I was actually by her for once because I'm never by her. I'm never by her at the races. Like in passing, I see her, and I was right by her, and I looked at her. She goes, that's some bitch. And I mean, now he's going to exaggerate it. And you did it for like 4 weeks straight. You would do it. Everybody's name was just monotone. You'd be Joshua Cadell. And it was super fun. And that's another. And if you don't have him on Snapchat, Andy, you need to, because if you're having a bad day and you spill your coffee on your lap and then you see his Snapchat, you might just be in a good mood because he says some funny stuff.
It's not the most politically correct Snapchat that's out there in the world, but
it's fun though.
I gotta blow off some steam somehow. So every once in a while, I just
see, I'm not
get on there and let it fly.
I'm not mature enough for social media, so I don't have any. And but I get to live through my wife sometimes. I did get TikTok a while back, and I didn't know your legs can go down when you're pooping, so they can. So don't go down the TikTok hole while you're pooping, and you got old legs because you might not be able to stand up.
That's happened a few times. I gotta so that turned into an experience in there, and I didn't know I wasted three.
I need ADA bars to get my butt off the pot. But so I don't have a lot of the social media, so I don't get to see a lot of stuff that people are talking about, and I really don't need it because I don't have time for it. One, and two, I go down the rabbit hole. I'll watch video after video, and I'll show my wife something. She's like, "Yeah, I've seen that like 6 years ago. That's not new." And like, whatever.
Like, I'm new here. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do with my hands. They say I got a face for radio, but hey, here I am. So
that's what JR says about me all the time. So I'm glad you just talked, because you got a face for it all.
Yeah, I do enjoy though I love it when you're down in the infield. That's fun too. But I liked it when who was down there? There was somebody down there the other day, and he was making me laugh. Kratzer was down there, and that was, and he didn't mess up at all. I love Chris Kratzer too. Great guy. I love Chris. He's a good friend. And he was talking down there, and he was trying to keep people on task. You do really good at that. And you don't catch a grab other than Aaron. You got to bring him back in sometimes, but Chris couldn't keep people focused. Like people come up and they're like, "Hey, what's up? Haven't seen you in 6 years." And they're talking about high school and stuff, and he's trying to interview them.
Right.
And I had so much fun that night watching him interview. But you're definitely the best. Jeremy does a good job too.
He does a great
Jeremy
job.
does a good job too, and a very sincere, genuine. Nobody down there has ever really done bad. You don't want me down there ever. So I feel like, it's kind of a dirty slide job, but hey, you got the win, what? I'm joking.
You gotta, there's still a running bet. I'm a wild card, to say the least. And I think that, when I got the initial call to come do some infield stuff, Chesterman called me, and he was like, "Listen, we're both going to go missing if you mess this up." So I pulled some strings, and can you do this? And then JR called and asked if I'd do it. So I think there's still a running tally going, like
before you mess up,
when I'm going to lose it or something. Yeah.
So my before I even got in here, I stood outside for like 5 minutes. I just said every cuss word I've ever heard and known. I put some stuff together that doesn't even go together because I needed to try to be good, because I don't catch myself anymore. I've cussed for so long, but I am proud to say I quit smoking though 6 weeks ago.
Very good.
By my birthday, I got sick and I quit smoking, so that's a good thing for me. So maybe if Tyler wants to have a foot race in 5 or 6 years, I might be able to beat him or something.
I got a mouth like a sailor. So I do have I do every once in a while. My grandma will watch, and she'll every once in a while when I call. I try to call her at least once a week. Doesn't always work out, but she'll say, "I'm really proud of you that you can at least go through 2 race nights in a podcast without cussing, because the rest of the time you're letting it fly."
Yeah. Well, my goal was to not use like the level 5 cuss words, but the 1s and 2s, the little lower ones.
Yeah.
And I so far I think I'm on that. Pretty good. I would love to have you or see you have Holly on here sometime to talk about what she wants to talk about. I think it would be even funnier if you had Tyler, JR, and Holly on here, so you could have those three bickering.
I wouldn't get a word in edgewise. I might as well just start it and just walk away, and them three could just have at it one night.
Oh my goodness, that would be gloves off, and lights out, wonderful. Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit more about Premier Maintenance.
Sure.
I know that your schedule's pretty full, but kind of go over the services that you offer, and if
Okay.
someone wants to contact you and maybe get a schedule in down the road, what's some stuff that you guys take care of over
So
there?
with that being said, lawn care, landscaping, we can do anything with construction because of our ties and our other partners that we deal with on a daily basis. But ultimately right now, I think the main thing we would be good at for anybody is probably lawn care, landscaping stuff, and then the snow removal naturally, because that's a new thing. And Josh is I'm not going to be the face on this at all, really. Josh is going to, there's an exit strategy for this mayhem that we deal with. We have a cleaning service as well. One of our daughters runs the cleaning side. My other daughter she can build websites. She's a hairdresser right now. That's what she wanted to do. She has a college degree and she's a hairdresser, and she can build she has drones. She can fly over, do photos for houses, for something. She can do all kinds of stuff. And that's what's made this, successful, because it's pretty much family. And even like the kids that work with us, I mean, Brett Davis is as close to family without,
Right.
luckily being blood related. And same with Jeffrey that works with us. He's family too. He's actually was Jason Daniels' foster son for years. So he is technically, was family, or is. And then the other guys that work with us are usually friends of them and stuff. So it's family as well. But they do power wash houses. They can do driveways. I mean, they can do painting. Do anything really you want to do. The problem is in the summers, they're so busy mowing. They mow hundreds of yards a week.
Right.
And then in the winter, it's slower. That's why the snow removal has been an option. Now, if you live in Kansas, like this is the first year we got to push snow 2 times in 3 years.
I know.
So,
you got to get it while you can.
Yeah, exactly. And see if we can not break stuff and not wreck trucks and tear front ends out of trucks and all of that jazz, or hit, somebody's vehicle.
Stuff,
hit stuff. I mean, stuff happens. But at the end of the day, I mean, they can do anything with houses. Premier makes do anything from like light electrical. And then if it's something that needs something, more in depth with a licensed electrician, we've got those. We got licensed plumbers. We've got sheetrock crews, painting crews, flooring crews, all that stuff. We can do any of that stuff. And I'm not against doing stuff for people. When it comes to mowing, we don't just mow residential yards. Like somebody calls in Derby and says, "Hey, will you mow my yard?" I'm like, "No, I can't," because my guys make too much money. And by the time they drive to Derby, now I got to charge you so much money to mow your yard. Even though we're going to mow your yard in like 9 minutes, I got an hour and a half worth of labor in it by 3 guys in a truck. So if you want us to mow or you want us to do something, that's fine. Just see if you can get your neighbors, like get a couple neighbors or get a court or get 3 or 4 people that are really close together. Then I can justify driving to you.
Right.
And I'll mow anybody's stuff and I'll do whatever. Or if you just say it's a one-time deal, I'm going on vacation, do it. I mean, we'll take care of people. I mean, we're race family. So everybody's race people and we'll help anybody out. I don't hang Christmas lights. We don't like that stuff. So don't call us for Christmas lights. My son and Brett did a couple and I just don't want them getting hurt. So
I'm just not a roof guy.
Me neither. Not
I
anymore.
don't want to get up there.
No, I have no reason to get up there. We hire people to do that stuff. I don't even hang my own Christmas lights. And if I did, I would have a boom lift outside. I'd be in a basket and I would do it that way. And it would cost so much to do it. It just wouldn't make sense. Yeah, for sure.
Some of there's a couple other things that you didn't mention, but they're not normal. Someone's going to call you. You do a little grandstand cleaning. You do a little, you do a little fence banner removal.
Yeah, we do that, and we can street sweep. We can sweep. Like we sweep the concourse here for JR and big events and stuff. And then, we can do any of that stuff. I mean, really, like the power washing is kind of a new thing. We power wash our new houses when Holly and them build the houses and they sit for a while, or if our trim carpenters are cutting in the garages, it gets a lot of sawdust all over stuff, and we'll power wash and scrape driveways. And they're getting a new sander for flooring, so we can go over concrete. Like if it's stained or something, we can actually power wash it and use a sander on it and kind of bring it back. It's not perfect, but it's good. It looks a lot better. So there's services like that. It's just the problem is getting to do them. And now we're getting into some wealthier people's houses where they kind of let us do anything and everything. Like, hey, mow it. Hey, shovel the snow. Hey, power wash it. Hey, clean the windows. And,
right.
And those are nice accounts. And I try I don't take advantage of them, but we want to maximize doing stuff there when we're slow at other stuff.
Right.
So it's good fill-in work.
Yeah. JLR Property Management. I know Holly's the face of that deal,
Mm-hmm.
and I do want to get her on here and talk about stuff. But I live at 183rd south of Kellogg a little bit, but 167th, brand new build up of JLR Property Management housing. So
Well,
you know, someone's needing to get a rental. You know, how can they get a hold of you guys?
so boy, I wish I was more prepared on that one.
Hot
yeah.
seat. You're gonna get graded when you get home eventually after this one.
I would Google JR Property Management, and I'm pretty sure there's a website with all of our layout and plans and stuff. Again, I don't do much with that. The only time I do anything with that is if I'm somewhere near where she's at or where she needs me to do something. She says, "Hey, go get keys from there and then bring them to me later tonight." And that's what I do for her on that. But at the end of the day, so the property management, she's hiring a new person. I don't think I'm allowed to say who it is. It's part of the racing family community,
okay,
which is good. Again, that's back to our family and our
Mm-hmm.
How we like to do stuff. We like to work with people we like, and she's got a really cool person hiring on. And then once she wants to make that vocal, because I don't want to get in trouble for saying it.
Yeah.
It's a really big person at the track here, so it's going to be really cool that she's working with Holly, and they're building new offices. They got new desks and new computers and printers. I mean, they're really going to take that to another level. I think she has a couple hundred property doors that she manages right now. And I think she'll probably be at 300, 400 within the next 2 or 3 years.
Nice.
And not to mention the person coming on can bring stuff if she wishes as well.
Yeah.
And that's going to be big for them. And the goal for that is a somewhat of an exit strategy in the aspect of hiring somebody to run that completely and us get some mailbox money later in life on that.
Yeah.
And same with Premier Maintenance. Josh, basically taking it over, running it, being the sole owner, but giving me money so I can, pay for race cars that he destroys. And this is what we do at home all the time.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh my God. Yeah. And then buying new seats because he keeps gaining weight. We got to make sure he can fit in the seats. But yeah, I think the property management is going to be huge. I think the snowmobiles is going to be big. That's going to be a partnership with me and a friend named Mike, and he owns Cut Right Lawn Care.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually maybe that will be a partnership that we join together as well. It's too much right now for us to do all the time. Right now it's kind of nice because we're not racing to do this stuff.
Right.
But during racing season, it's chaos. It's crazy. Right. And there's going to be more trucks, more mowers, more trailers. It's chaos.
It always escalates out of control.
We were at a good place a year ago, and then this year we're at a better place. And then we're at growing pain place right now, where it's hire people or decide not to get bigger. And then we got to turn away stuff. And we already don't advertise. I mean, our advertisements here at the track. And we do that because we want to. It's not really to get any more business. And we'll take business. Don't get me wrong, people. We'll do work. And we'll make it happen. And we do good work. We stand behind everything we do. And we are insured and bonded and all that jazz. I mean, we're a legit company. And I think at the end of the day, we don't want to get too much bigger. We just want to get where it's doesn't get less than this. And we make the same amount of money in theory because everything we do is expensive. These cars are so expensive. Gas, I mean, $750 for 55 gallons of fuel, $180 a tire. And now we're going to be going through a lot more tires with the B mod instead of the minis. The mini stock are cheap tires. Well, they're not cheap, but they just last forever.
Right. Last a lot longer.
Oh yeah. All year. I mean, unless we break one or pop one. Yeah, for sure. Actually, funny story is we didn't have a backup tire for our mini stock. Justin Esparza had a backup tire for us if we needed it. Yeah. It just, the car worked as much problems as we had. We didn't have major problems. We just weren't going to the front a lot.
Some running issues.
Yeah. And I think Josh needed to push it and spin out a couple times to know what he could do with the car.
Yeah.
At first, I think he was being smart. And he didn't want to wreck it. That mini stock's got more money than some B mods. I mean, that mini stock is the most expensive mini stock in the world.
I think people, even over at Humboldt, I think people underestimate that division. There is sometimes just as much maintenance and money going into those cars, like you said, as into the A mods and the super stocks and the stock cars. And
well, Titus and them,
serious stuff happening.
Yeah, Titus and them. I mean, I talk to them a lot. I mean, we're friends. They're not Titus, but the Reimers and stuff. Running it. I very seldom get to talk to Titus. He's in the car when he's here and I'm here. But talking to his crew, what they were doing with struts and what they were doing with tires and what they were changing, every 3 races versus every 1 race, and they were doing a lot more than us. We definitely weren't doing enough. We weren't doing too little, but we could have done more. But once the car started competing, it's like, now we're like, hey, what do we need to do to get better? And that's like I said earlier, we did the same thing with Aaron's car. We started off so good, then we lost the cylinder in Aaron's the first year. We ran good, we lost the cylinder, got it rebuilt or fixed, and then it just never was powerful. We were underpowered. He's such a good driver. He could power through the corners and drive so much better than the people around him in the corners. Not everybody, but a lot of people. He drives so good in the corners. Then he'd come out and the car you just wanted to get behind it and push it. It was just like that 10, 15 horsepower underpowered. And we screwed up when we bought new headers. We bought the bigger tubes. We should have bought the smaller. Then we put mufflers on. We talked to Shipman and he made some good advice, suggestions. And we followed everything he said to do. Got it back where it almost competed, but just didn't compete. He just had to people had to mess up for him to pass him at the end, at the front. And we had some shitty really cruddy draws for a while in that season. And we still finished third and it was good. And this year's second and next year I hope it's first. But at the end of the year, I don't want Aaron or Josh for that matter to go out there and feel like Holly or I haven't given them the tools to do the work.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out here, and I get it because it's expensive. And I'm fortunate. Holly's fortunate. Our drivers are very fortunate. The people around us, I feel like, are very fortunate. We're very giving in the aspect of paying for pit passes and people that help us and giving shirts away. And the little kids up there, and it's like, oh, I love that 99 car. I hear it. I'm going to go grab a shirt and give it to this little kid. I'm not buying that shirt. I'm giving that shirt away.
Yeah.
If I have the, somewhat close. Usually they're too big, but I give them the shirt anyway.
Sleep shirt.
Yeah, they're kind of like nightgowns, but we do that stuff. And I want next year, I want to have some luck. I want to have some decent draws. We learned Aaron wants to win so much, and that's good. I want a winner, and we want aggressive winning, safely winning, aggressive. He wants to win so much. We kept winning all these heat races, and basically we were getting crappy starts. Like we were winning our heat races, and then the redraw comes, and we were going backwards. And I was like, talked to some of my friends, and I'm like, dude, we're always sixth starting, and we're always whooping everybody's butt in these B-mod or the heat races. We're winning, and we're always starting fifth or sixth. They were like, don't you know never to win? You want to be fourth or fifth, and then you go up to second or third or first. And I'm like, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Can't you win first and still be first? And they're like, no, that never happens, dummy. I'm like, so now Aaron's supposed to take second in his heat races and not first.
That's the order.
And that's not true. I want him to win. But if it's pushing something dangerously, second or third is just fine in a heat race.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, unless you start first, then get your stay button first.
Yeah, you better stay in first.
Stay in first.
Passing points deal. If you want to start at the back and drive her to the front.
We watched Tyler the other night. Same exact scenario. He starts out friggin' first or second in Vado, and he finishes first. And he starts 14th in the freaking A feature. I mean, it's like, oh my God, you got punished because you got a good draw.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of luck to this. And I've also seen Aaron have the worst draw in the world and start 8th in the heat race and drive straight to first in 2 laps. And then I've also seen us start 8th. And then we got Kemp, Reimer, and everybody in front of us.
Heat races.
And then we can't pass one guy. And then we're going to the B race.
Yeah.
And we've been fortunate. Knock on wood. I don't think Aaron's ever not taken first in a B feature. I don't think he has. And if he hasn't taken first, it's been second, maybe once. And that's why I tell him, I said, that's why you're not supposed to be there. If you're going to win all your B features, you're not supposed to be there. He goes, well, I can't pass anybody if it's single lane and I can't get around him. And he gets all worked up and he's like a little angry choo-choo train. I mean, he gets so angry. And then we start talking, then he smiles, and then he comes out and just starts 14th or 16th and finishes in the top 5. And it's really fun to watch him work now. The year before he rushed and he forced things because he had to, because he was underpowered.
Yeah.
Now he's got a car that's set up dang near perfect. It's a good motor. We've learned a lot about shocks and springs. We sent him. Oh, that's another thing we did. 2 year before last season, Josh and Aaron, Holly and I, we didn't send him anywhere. They offered to go. I think it was their idea. Send him to a stock car setup class in somewhere in Oklahoma or Missouri. It was like a one-night deal, and then the next day and lunch, and stayed in a hotel. And they learned a lot about setup and springs, and they learned a lot about clean air, like even just our air cleaners, like how diverters across the motor pushing the air above to the air filter, not, I mean, just a lot of stuff. And the importance of pulling your radiator on, sending it in a kiddie pool and letting it drain so you get good, airflow. I mean, just little things that just took them to the next level, you know, I think. And I hope next year just starts out great and just finishes great. I know we're going to have hiccups and we're going to have some problems. I know we're going to have growing pains with Josh in the car. Hopefully, Josh and the car getting to know each other, we have a little bit of growing pains. Not where they just hate each other. I mean, they could hate each other. I hope they don't, because the only time he's gotten to drive it, he got to wreck it. He was unfortunate when it happened. And again, it wasn't being stupid. It was unfortunate. And I feel like if he would have done one lap and stopped and one lap, and I mean, we could have done it so many. I mean, I take full responsibility for the wreck. I really do.
Right.
And Tyler was mad because he got here late, and he said, "Well, if I was here earlier, it wouldn't have happened." And maybe it wouldn't have, maybe it would have. I don't know. But that tells you why he's my friend. You know, because it was sad. I mean, that car is important to me. Me and Holly, I forgot to say that earlier too. Before we got a car, and when Yeager wasn't racing, had time off and come back, we weren't helping Yeager. And then we started traveling with Tyler and Emily. We went all over with them, and Lucas, Rocket. We've been all over the place with them guys racing, and we've been to Nevada with them racing. Not this year, last year. And just a lot of fun. I learned a lot there. And me and Cody arguing a lot, and dude, he's a mess. Dude, I love that kid too. Dude, I love that kid.
Crew chief of the year, Cody Uhlik.
I'll tell you what, man. On my birthday and Holly's birthday, he's the first one to send us a text that says "Happy Birthday."
You wouldn't look at Cody Uhlik and think that he's got a heart of gold, but he absolutely does. And
he does.
I've tried to set him up a few times.
Oh no,
dating round robin, because you're not going to find anyone more loyal than Cody Uhlik.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, sometimes you got to like pull a conversation out of him, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, not much of a conversationalist, that's for sure. But
No.
But he's a workhorse. He'll do anything for you, and he's as loyal as can be.
I'm telling you what, you can't yell at anybody more than he's been yelled at and not have somebody quit.
That's 100%. 100%. You've never met anyone been threatened to been left in another state more times than that kid, and just keeps coming back on Monday.
I'll tell you one thing though, I also don't see many people Tyler trusts to get in his car and move it and load it either though.
We always love watching Cody go on the parade when he gets a chance to unload it and turn it around.
I mean, I don't know if he has his hat on backwards ever until he gets in the car, and then he's going to drive the car because his hat's on backwards.
100%.
Yeah, it's like Bo and Luke Duke or something. He's ready to go jump something.
Well, we're about an hour and 21 minutes into this, and I know you got snow to get removed, but I got two more things.
Certainly.
We're going to go through a rapid fire question deal here in a minute.
Oh, no.
That's how we'll end the night. But since Aaron can't ever get it done, buddy, I want you to thank the sponsors in this 99 team.
Okay. So most of our sponsors are just friends of us and people that we work with. Martin Electric is an electrician. He does work with us on our work. And I met Brady Martin probably about 25 years ago on a job site. And we've been friends ever since. Nice. And he's come out and watched, was having fun. And he offered to sponsor. I didn't even ask him to sponsor. He offered to sponsor because he just had fun, and he sponsored, and then he sponsored. I think this will be his third year. And we don't ask for a bunch of money from these people. I mean, $500 is a lot of money in this when you get a lot of people. I think our biggest sponsors, I think J.L. Russell Construction probably does 3,000 or so. Premier Maintenance, which is mine. It's a tax. I'm just taking it from my right pocket, putting it in my left pocket. That's a couple thousand, 3,000. Carter's Books, which is Holly's bookkeeping company. J.L. Russell Construction or J.L. Property Management is one. Then I got Plumbing Solutions, Isaiah Ost. He owns Utility Solutions, Plumbing Solutions, a big player in Wichita, one of the best plumbers around. Does a lot of new construction and site work. And he does stuff with us. Drywall Solutions did stuff with us for a few years. They took off last year. I might get them back this year. Epic Heating and Air, good friends of mine, Justin Ritter, Preston Davis. Justin lives across the street from me. He's my neighbor.
Nice.
And he buys air conditioners, American Standard, from us at work. So it's really nice. He works for Holly, and then he buys air conditioners from me. And then he sponsors my car. And
Full circle.
And his son, Preston Ritter, is one of my best friends. He's a really good guy as well. He shot me a deer this year, so I got deer meat this year. Because I didn't have time to hunt. I actually paid the tag. He shot it, and I went and paid processing. So I actually got deer meat finally.
Nice.
Because we don't get a hunt anymore. If we have time in a little bit, I'll tell you the story about Holly's big buck she shot.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
It's a good one. It's not big. It's funny. But anyway, So then we have Ready Overhead Door, which is Ready
Mm-hmm.
Industries out on East Kellogg. Nick, I can't even pronounce his name right, Rossetti or something. But anyway, Nick is a good guy. We buy lots of garage doors from him. He installs them, the garage door openers. He's great service, and he's a great guy. Ready gave us money. Mill Creek did not give us money, but James Harding, which is a huge.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a NASCAR sponsorship potential. Like this,
Yeah.
this place is huge.
Mill Creek.
Well, not Mill Creek, but the James Harding siding. It's a concrete siding.
Okay.
Yeah, they sell it to us, and we use that, and we buy $800,000 worth of the siding a year. A lot.
Wow.
So they gave us a few $1,000s and put it on the car for no other reason than to just be generous and thankful for us doing business with them.
Mm-hmm.
And Mill Creek kind of organized that. Mill Creek doesn't sponsor stuff, not because they're jerks, but they deal with so many people. If they give me money, they got to give everybody money.
Right.
So they do what's right, and they just don't get in trouble. So
right. Yeah.
And Randy's my guy at Mill Creek, and he does a great job. Who else do we have on the car? My mom, Hair Perfection. My mom owns a hair salon at Maple and Tyler. It's Hair Perfection. I don't think she's looking for any new customers or clients. I'm 50, so my mom is, oh my God, I should kill me if I said her age, but she's older than me. She's at least 20 years older than me. She didn't have me on accident in high school. So
she's still young.
Yeah. She comes to the races. She loves the races. It's probably one of the only things she does to get out of the dang house anymore is come to the races. I need to get a golf cart though. I'm going to get a golf cart because my mom's knee is bad. So I need to get a golf cart so she can get moved around out here a little easier.
Yeah.
She comes a lot. My goodness. I think that's pretty much about it. I'm sure I missed. Oh my goodness. No, Wichita Interlock and Wichita Bonding. Ryan Estep has always been a good friend of mine. We met playing softball 10 plus years ago. I had a softball life before a race car life, and then my back. I've had 3 back surgeries and a neck fusion, so I don't play ball. I don't play baseball anymore, and I don't run very fast either. So unless it's a dog or a cop, I'm not running, and I'm pretty sure both of them are going to catch me. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's pretty much it. Ryan gives me a couple thousand. Sandlin Auto also is a sponsor of ours. JR is a good guy. I met JR back in 91, drag racing. Before he even had the bad attitude Camaro when he had the Chevelle.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the Chevelle was before the Camaro, I think. Yep. Then it went into the basically a full-blown pro modified.
Right.
And then Brandon has the Junkyard Studebaker, which is, again, I love drag racing as well. The cars are always clean. They're always shiny, unless you destroy it. But
those are the Sandlin Iron and Metal cars at the drag strip. I'm an ex street racer and did some time at the drag strip. Those are legendary cars around. I call it international. I don't know what they call it.
It used to be international, and then it was Wichita something. But I don't know what it is right now. They have a dirt track there as well, motocross track outside there now. Yeah. And then last year they went down. But or the year before last, they kind of closed it down and they weren't going to open it. But then last year they reopened and they're doing street racing and import racing on Friday nights and stuff. I only live 2 miles from there and I still don't get to go there.
Yeah.
I watched JR do a burnout one time and he went all the way through the quarter mile lights doing a burnout. He ran 1190 in a burnout. He ran 1190 quarter mile burning out the whole time. And that dude backs up. I mean, I have a saying for him, but I can't say it on the radio right now. He's got big kahunas. Let's just go that way. He backed up probably 70 miles an hour. I mean, the dude backs up crazy. I mean, he's a hell of a driver.
Yeah.
And he used to be a big guy. He was heavy.
Yeah.
And then he lost weight. And I think he didn't get heavy again, but he's not skinny. He got kind of skinny, but now he's a normal sized guy like us, like a normal guy.
Right.
But when he was big, he would get in his car. And oh my goodness, it was so funny because he'd get in this car and he'd be cussing and griping. He's like, "Oh, I get any fatter, I ain't gonna be able to get in this damn thing." And and then he lost weight. But dude, he is a phenomenal driver. And Brandon is just as crazy as he is. Brandon drives if you haven't seen the Junkyard Studebaker, look it up online. That car is awesome. Yeah. It's got a beautiful wrap. I don't know who did the wrap, but it's amazing. It's a good car.
Yeah.
But so I had JR as well. J.L. Russell Construction, that's who Holly works for, and me, we work with. That's the guy that builds everything. His name's Jason Russell. He's from Mays. He's like 43, 44 years old. And he's into European cars like Ferraris and Porsches and stuff like that. And he has a few of them. His dad has a Lambo, a Ferrari, S Turbo Porsche, a Mercedes GT. I mean, all kinds of cool cars that Jason gets to drive, and I get a ride in. And then I'm like, oh my God, I want to ride with this guy. He's crazy. He drives pretty good, but he races like he doesn't race anything like on a track, but he drives it like he's on the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you got one, you need to test it out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be fun, and I would love to have anything that he has and run around this track when it's not muddy, but it's sticky. Like if John, which never gives us a rubber down track, but if he ever did, I would love to put my wife's car on it or something else, because my wife has an all-wheel drive BMW M-Comp car or SUV for 630 horsepower, and it's all-wheel drive, and I would kill to put that on that track. Put out a 16-second lap time or something with that car. It'd be so much fun. She would kill me.
We don't get too much rubber down stuff here.
No. And it was funny because one time Holly was messing with John. It was called a rubber down track, and man, I thought they were going to go fist to cuff. And Holly was joking with it, but he don't think that's not a funny joke.
He does. He takes his track prep very seriously.
Yeah, he did. So we went deer hunting years ago. Then we can end, unless you got one more. You got me to do the fast thing, and that's fine. But
no, tell your story, and then we'll do rapid fire.
So we were deer hunting, and Holly gets into deer hunting with me. And my wife is cool. She goes and does stuff with me, and if she hated it, she wouldn't have went, but she enjoyed deer hunting. So we go deer hunting for a year. Don't get one that year. The next year we go hunting, and I'm sitting down the tree row. She's shooting down the tree row. The night before we left, I told her, I said, "You shoot that deer in the gut, you're going to clean it, because I'm going to throw up. I can't stand the smell. I mean, they stink. Have you ever cleaned a deer before? They stink. It's horrible." Or even a rabbit or squirrel. Anything with fur stinks when you clean it. So a gut shot is even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "You shoot that deer in the gut, you're cleaning it." So I'm sitting there. It's about 4:00 in the evening, a Sunday hunt, naturally, because it's the worst time to ever get a deer before work Monday morning. So I'm sitting there, I'm about to fall asleep, and I hear boom. I look over, and she's putting her gun down, and I wait a few minutes, and she's looking at me. She's excited. She just killed her first deer. Well, we have doe tags. We're not supposed to shoot bucks on this guy's property.
Oh,
yeah. So, yeah. Well, let the story escalate. So it ain't much of a buck. I'm going to tell you that. But anyway, so she shoots this deer. We wait, and I'm like giving her hand signals, like, "Is it down?" You know, with my thumbs down, and she's giving me a thumbs up, and I'm like, "Is it down?" And dude, it's just like the worst sign language conversation we've ever had. I think that's the only one, and our last one. So I walk over to her. I rifle my gun on my shoulder. I walk over to her. I was like, "Did you get it?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's right over there." I said, "How far?" She's about, 70, 80 yards right up there. I said, "Did it run?" She goes, "No, it just fell." I said, "It's dead." And she's like, "It's right there." I said, "Okay." So I walk over there, and sure enough, this one horn buck, about a 4-inch long horn, you could barely see it over its right ear. But it was a big body deer. It was a good eating deer. We ate the deer. It was a good deer. But it was, so later I was like, "Hey, we're going to stuff this big buck you shot, hun." And she's just like, "Shut up." And so I always make jokes about every time we see a mounted deer, I'm like, "Hey, that one's about as big as your buck." And she's just like, "Shut up, you idiot." But so I look at the deer, and I'm looking for a hole, and it's, where a lung or a heart shot would be, which is where us normal people shoot deer. So it's dead. I'm like, there's not even a spit bubble in its mouth or a bit of blood. I mean, she killed it, and it was dead immediately. So I drag it over to her. I said, "Your sights are off. Horrible. You shot that deer in the neck." She goes, "That's where I was aiming." I said, "What?" She goes, "You told me if I shot it in the guts, I'd have to clean it." So she Googled that you could kill a deer by shooting it in the spine. So she made an 80-yard shot, and she hit a deer where it has to be within the size of roughly a dime or a quarter, and she smoked it. So her gun is definitely not off the sight. She can shoot a gun.
Don't mess with that girl.
Yeah, get close, because don't let her shoot you far away, because she can see far. She can't see up close. But anyway, it was one of the funniest stories ever. So I tell everybody that. I was like, "She shot a deer in the neck and the spine." They're like, "You never do that. I mean, if you're off a quarter inch, it's going to live. You're just going right through meat." I said, "I know that, but somebody that doesn't want to clean a deer is not going to shoot it anywhere in the body, I guess." That's a true story. I didn't fabricate that.
You said don't shoot it in the gut. So
she did.
She shot it in the best other possible spot.
Yeah, it's literally the best place you could ever shoot a deer. You don't mess up one lick of meat. I mean, but it's literally, you can't be off a quarter or half inch. I mean, you won't kill that deer.
Hey, sharpshooter.
True story. Life happens.
Aaron Esparza chiming in. He said, "I think I know that guy." Shout out. He must not have been listening very long. He'll have to go back and listen to a few things.
I'm sure Josh would have been the one in there giving me some some Jess.
No, not yet. No.
He might
Aaron's,
be working though. He should be out pushing snow.
yeah, he should be. That's right. Yeah. No breaks. There's no breaks in this deal.
We'll see what his time card says.
We're a little over an hour and 34 in rapid fire.
Oh goodness.
You ready for these?
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Favorite color?
Black.
Black. Okay, that's fair. Favorite racing class besides the two that you're involved in?
Late model, 100%.
Like big body bad boys.
Yep,
All right.
Yep.
This is typically for a racer's thing, but every once in a while a car owner will get into it. Racing superstition.
They say not to eat chicken on race day. I watched Aaron eat a chicken fried steak years ago, and he did good and won that night, or was in the top 3 or 4. So
Typically, it's chicken on a bone. You don't want to have like a, you don't want to stop by KFC and get a bucket of chicken. It's get some chicken tendies or
Sure.
chicken fried chicken steak or something. That's
in
probably
baseball,
okay.
I had lots of superstitions, and you don't change your socks, and you don't shave on game day, and blah blah blah. You don't talk about no hitter during no hitter. I mean, there's a lot of those things. But when it comes to racing, I think the chicken's the only thing I know about, and I don't have anything. I guess we haven't had enough bad. I guess my one superstition is if you go to Salina, your shit's going to get tore up.
Yeah.
So don't go to Salina. I mean, I'll never go back to Salina.
Well, we like our friends up at.
I do like
Salina.
them. I do like Salina as far as the people in the racing. I'm not talking bad about the track. It's just I had really bad luck there. The worst bad luck at racing I've ever had was there, and Aaron could have easily gotten hurt in that race.
Yeah,
because he was sideways when it broke the front tire loose. He was completely sideways right in the middle of turn 1, 2. He got straight T-boned. It could have, and then luckily he got hit 2 times. The car hit him in the back first, spun him. Otherwise, he'd have been directly right in his side.
Yeah.
Another
one typically for a racer, but of course, car owner favorite win.
I think the favorite win was the last race of last year. That was a really fun win. Even though we came short of points, I think it was important for the team, even though we didn't get points, know that we're there, that was good. It would have been bad if we had a mistake or had the car hurt. That was a really good win for us.
Yeah. You kind of talked about traveling a little bit. What's a track? Holly says, let's load it up anywhere you want to go in the country. What track we headed to?
Man, I like Rocket Raceway, dude. I like racing there. I like the track. They have Frito chili pies there. I'm totally joking. I don't know if they have Frito chili pies there. I'm totally joking.
I don't have too many restrictions on this show. I've been told no, I think 3 times, but I'm pretty sure there's a text coming. No more people that are going to bring up Frito chili pie.
I need 6 more times to get a $10 bet. No, I totally joke. And I do like Lucas Speedway. We went to Lucas Speedway. Aaron went there. We're racing USRA. We're racing basically 81 Speedway race rules. We have a 500 2-barrel carburetor.
Right.
We have everything set up normal. I think Tyler said it raced bigger or smaller. I can't remember which way it went. We did change our gear. We raced the 500 2-barrel there, and we go out and we smoke our heat race. And then, oh no, that's when we lost our cam. That's when we lost our cam in the feature. A feature, we start 6th in the feature. We won our heat race. I'm sure we had a shitty redraw, and we went to 6th. And we're going to win. We were going to win there, and he was hot. And all of a sudden, he's driving. Next thing you know, people just start passing. We lost our cam. But I like Lucas Speedway too. Lucas is fun. Yeah.
I think we know the answer to this one, but the best racetrack food.
Oh, Humboldt's Frito chili pie. Frito chili pie. Frito chili pie. Frito chili pie. Frito chili pie.
There it is. Got it in. Kind of a non-racing thing, but just to kind of get to know you. What's your favorite holiday?
Man, I would say 4th of July. We kind of blow it up.
Yeah, you do.
We like that. We tried to do that 1 year ago, and it rained, and I think we'll get back on that. I had to go down. JR didn't make me. He asked me because he was busy to go down to the park. Is it Park City or Valley Center? Who do I have to go to here? I can't remember.
Park City.
So I went to the Park City City Council meeting one time, so we could petition. We could have fireworks here. They don't mind if we shoot a few fireworks here, or JR and you guys do. Not we, you guys. But we were going to have a show.
Right.
And we went down and we petitioned, and they are super open about it. And then I think we did, I think that was Park City night too. So everybody got in, they got to watch the free fireworks, and it was really going to be a good time. And then it rained, and then we had to, I think we shut at the A feature main. We had to call the race that night, I think, if I remember correctly. But anyway, they called the race, and then we stopped, and then people were hanging out, and then JR called me and said, "We're going to do it or not?" I said, "Let's do it." So we shot off about 45 minutes worth of fireworks in about 5 minutes, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. A lot of people, some people had left, some started to turn around as they were leaving, but that's another thing we didn't really talk about, but we, of course, we got to thank you guys for putting on the fireworks show, and you guys
did some shirts that night, I think, too.
Did some shirts. I've been criticized on my t-shirt gun skills. Apparently,
I think you killed somebody in the parking lot one time and it shot over and you hit him in the head or something.
Yeah, I got a little I got a little antsy with the pressure there. It wasn't very good, but
I think we roll them better because we've done it twice now where we brought shirts, and I think we roll them a little different, and they have better. They shoot more accurately.
Shoot a little bit better.
I think we were narrow and too long before. Now we're wider and shorter. I think you made them, but yeah.
We got a little Eric Chessman wide and short on the shirt. So get a little shot there. I haven't talked to him for a while, so we'll see if he messaged me.
Well, I guess I made fun of Josh. So it's your turn to make fun of Chester.
That's true.
So, yeah.
I gotta give Chesterman a lot of credit. Without Chesterman, I would never be announcing. I wouldn't be on the show. I wouldn't really have anything to do. And then I got to give him a little shout out because he tips it to Trenton Berry, and I get to help out with the race and dirt crew every once in a while. So.
And that's fun. I'm sure that's fun.
Yeah.
Holly always gives Chesterman more. Holly always is messing with him and just giving him grief about his tucked in shirt or his shorts or knickers and they're too long. Or, I mean, she's always messing. I'm like, leave him alone, dude. He does. You say how good he announces, and the minute you see him, you just start beating him up.
Well,
he does make it easy.
That's how you know that we love some Eric Chesterman.
Yeah, if she doesn't talk to you, she doesn't probably like you. If she's making fun of you or joking, you're in forever.
Oh yeah,
and that's not always good.
Last one on rapid fire, and we've had the same answer every time I've ever asked this. Who's your hero?
Do I have to say God?
No.
Okay, good. You've had the same answer every time.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So on the rapid fire thing, I did it a couple times and Jeremy didn't really like it, and then now Jeremy doesn't show up, so I get to do whatever I want. But so before Casey Joe Gimmel, which shout out to that one if you haven't heard that interview, go back on the YouTube page and you can hear our interview with Casey Joe Gimmel. But I had to go back and look, and she kept the streak going.
Oh my God! I know I'm gonna fail on this.
You don't have to fail. It's your.
Now I feel like I gotta.
It's your answer, but I've had the same exact answer every time I've ever asked it.
Racing hero or just hero in general?
Well, I've only ever asked it here on the show.
Is it a racer? Is it somebody that's always says a race? It's not a racer.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a racer that says a person, but it's always the same answer.
Oh my God.
Who's your personal hero?
I don't really have one. I like a lot of people. I think a lot of people are good or inspirational or something, but
it doesn't have to be. It is someone in your life.
Oh, in my life.
Yeah. Oh, everybody doesn't have to be at the racetrack. It's just when you wake up and this is your hero and this is who you're striving to be like.
Oh man. Everybody probably said their dad. I didn't have really good dad situations, so
that's I gathered that one.
Yeah,
the dad is the answer every time. I have a unique dad situation as well.
I'm gonna say who my hero is that I don't know. He's not really a hero, but somebody that inspires me would be Post Malone. I like Post Malone a lot.
Malone, okay.
I think Post Malone stands for all that's good, and he's got a big heart, and he would do anything for anybody, even at his own expense. So I like Post Malone as being an inspirational person. But in a normal situation, my dad would have been my hero. So I had a dad, and then he was abusive and a drunk and an idiot, and he left. Then my stepdad came in, which was a great man, and then he kind of fell down a wagon of being a drunk and an idiot as well. I still love both of them. But they wouldn't be my heroes because they let down their families,
Yeah.
So it can't be a hero. Good people, bad mistakes, went down a rabbit hole, made mistakes. Had a fork in the road and they chose the wrong direction. I say Post Malone, and it used to be The Rock until he endorsed Biden. I used to like The Rock a lot. Yeah.
We try to steer away from politics on this
Yeah,
show. I
no.
think everyone knows how
No,
we
no,
lean, but
no, it's not because of that. It's because I don't think people should use their professional status platform to persuade people into doing something. That's why. It's not because of who he picked. It's just because he picked somebody.
Okay.
Dolly Parton's another really good person too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so far on the Who's Your Hero, we got a bunch of dads, and then we got Post Malone. So that one's a good one.
If you look at Post Malone, you'll see why I said what I said.
Okay.
He's a good guy.
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
I
promise.
I have some time tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can do that.
He takes the shoes off of his feet and gives them to people.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Well, buddy, I really appreciate you being here. I know I kept you a little longer than
You're
you
fine.
said you were going to, and I know you got a bunch of work to do, but on behalf of JR and Katie, John Allen, everyone here at 81 Speedway, Humboldt Speedway, we want to thank you guys for being partners with us here and everything that you do, bringing the skid steer out here, moving some dirt around, sending the crew over to take some banners down and do some sweeping. Sure. Man, we appreciate everything you guys do. And, we couldn't put on there's a couple outlaw shows we couldn't have done without you. And we really appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys recognize it. And I, in no way, shape or form have you guys not done more for me than I've done for you. So I appreciate all of you guys and we'll always defend you across the board, no matter what people say. No, I mean it. Like how I said about Post Malone being a great person. I mean, Jared's a great person. Katie's a good person. John Allen has not a bad bone in his body. Jeremy, you, the concession stand, nobody wants to put out old fries. I mean, nobody does anything bad here for any reason ever. And I don't feel like anything is overcharged. I feel like everybody does what they're supposed to do within reason, what they can do. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anybody wouldn't do anything for anybody here. So I'm grateful for you guys. It's a great track to be at as our home track. Wonderful place to be. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you saying that and of course, on behalf of the race fans, we want to thank you for having two cars out here and putting sometimes you put on a show, sometimes you are the show.
Well, sometimes we're behind the guy too, but that's all right.
That happens.
Yeah,
man, I appreciate you again for being here. I know you got some snow to remove, and we're about an hour and 46 minutes into this, so we're going to kick this one off. Thank you again for spending your night with us here on Above the Cushion. We appreciate each and every one of you for spending your Thursday nights with us. Up in the air if we will be back next week. I'm trying to line up some guests, so I'll get that out as soon as we can. And of course, we're going to get a hold of Holly and see if she can join us one night.
Get her.
Little sketchy out there tonight for her to come in, but when it clears up, we'll get her in here and we'll get a talk.
She'll be fun.
I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you next
Thursday
time.
night for more high-octane excitement and behind-the-scenes insights live on Facebook and YouTube. Please like, tag, share, and subscribe. Until next time.